I'll go is not in her.
Hey guys, what is up? It is me, the Chosen One, back at you again with another video, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about sensitivity in CSGO, as it is a very important part to the game and something that a lot of you guys out there might not really be aware of on how it could really affect your gameplay. So to start this video, I want to actually tell you a story about how I started with my sensitivity and how I started adjusting it and how it actually ended up making me a way better player. So the mouse I use is a Razer Death Adder Chroma, and when I first plugged it in, I didn't mess with the DPI, I didn't mess with any of the settings. I just used the default settings, as I was a newer PC gamer, and I'm sure if you're a newer PC gamer and you're into CSGO, you probably really haven't messed with the DPI of your mouse. This was something I wasn't really aware of. I knew that you could adjust the sensitivity in game, but I wasn't really aware that there was actually mouse settings where you could go in and, you know, actually adjust your DPI. There's plenty of ways to adjust your DPI. If you look up your mouse and how to adjust the DPI on Google, you're sure to find a video or an article just talking about how to change it. With the Razer Death Adder Chroma, you download Razer Synapses, I believe it's called. There's some type of Razer plugin there, and you just go in there and do it manually. But back to the story, I actually ended up plugging in my mouse. I was playing CSGO, and I felt my sensitivity was alright. I lowered it to the lowest it could possibly be in game, and it was still fairly fast, but eventually I just kind of got used to it until I told my friend about my sensitivity, and he said, well, what's your DPI? And I said, I have no clue what that even is. So he explains to me all about DPI and how it can actually affect your game, because, you know, when you're going in and you're trying to aim, if you're really fast, you're going to be off the mark a little bit more, and he recommended me lowering my DPI. I go in to check it, and it turns out my DPI was, I believe, around 1800, which, if you don't know, is extremely fast, especially if you're playing a first-person shooter. Note that this is just my preference, but he told me to lower it down. I lowered it down all the way to something like 400, I believe, which is just a considerable difference, and honestly, it felt a lot slower. It felt like I was moving at a snail's pace, but I DM'd for a little bit, and I eventually got used to it, and I noticed myself hitting a lot more shots and being a lot more accurate, because the slower it is, the more precise you can be, at least in my opinion. So I was playing lots of deathmatch. I kept lowering and lowering my sensitivity, trying to get as low as I could with it still being playable. One of the rules that someone told me was you want to be able to do like a 180 from one swipe to the other end of your mouse pad, and this goes into the thing I was talking about in another video of getting a bigger mouse pad and how that can help you. The bigger the mouse pad you get, the lower the sensitivity you can go, because you can just move it along. It makes aiming a lot easier in my opinion, and it's definitely worth the $10 or $20 that it costs to get a bigger mouse pad. If you're out there right now, I recommend trying to lower your sensitivity if you feel like it's a little bit too high. Try to lower it till you feel really comfortable with it, and that's the main thing of this. It's all about comfort. It's going to be different for every single person, but in general, it seems like for pros at least, most of them play at a lower sensitivity. I'm aware that some of them play at a higher sensitivity, but the majority of CSGO players and the majority of the pros play at a lower sensitivity, so obviously there's something about it that attracts the majority of people. So I recommend trying to play on a lower end sensitivity, somewhere around 400, 600 DPI is normally what I see people at, and just adjust it. Go into DM a lot. Try to find one that you really like. This is all personal preference. So once you find the one you like, just stick with it. And that's another key thing when it comes to sensitivity for CSGO. You have to stick with your sensitivity. Too often do people just change their sensitivity, and then it just ruins their muscle memory. So muscle memory is pretty much, you know, you do something so often and your muscles just kind of do it by instinct. And that's what happens with sensitivity. If you have your sensitivity at the same thing for a really long time, you're just eventually going to get used to it and be able to hit shots very consistently. While if you keep changing your sensitivity in hopes that it's going to make you some god tier player, then you're going to be actually shit out of luck, because guess what, you're going to be missing a lot of shots because you're just not used to the change in sensitivity all the time. There is no one perfect sensitivity. There's not one sensitivity that's going to work for everyone, but it's something that I recommend you guys check out. Try to adjust your sensitivity and find one that you like. I'm sure a lot of you out there might have found a sensitivity that you already like, but every few months I like to go in, try to adjust my sense based on what I've been doing in the game. Like if I'm having trouble and I can't turn on people as fast, I might turn it up a little bit, or I feel like I'm just a little bit inaccurate and I'm overshooting people, then I might lower it. This is what I recommend you guys do. Just try to adjust with it and just do it based on your own personal preference. Like I said though, try to shoot for around like 400 to 600 DPI if you don't really know where to start with DPI, and then go from there. But thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what you guys have in terms of sensitivity tips for the people out there down in the comments down below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button, and if you're new, subscribe. It really helps out the channel and I appreciate it. But thank you guys for watching this video. This has been the Chosen One Inc., and as always, peace out.